really common problem that a lot of people have when it comes to doing new things. For instance, when you start an Empower network, you might be afraid to do some of the things that you need to do to be able to succeed. Being afraid to get up in front of a camera, being afraid to write a blog post and share it with everybody. These are the fears that I had when I first started. You know, it's funny because before I joined Empower Network, I was able to stand up in rooms full of hundreds of people, and I could get up there and I could give a presentation, and I could look people right in the eyes, and I could see how they were responding, and I could tailor what I was saying so that I could get maximum benefit, give them maximum impact. And for me, that was easy. But when it came to the video camera, I had a terrible time with that. The first video that I ever did, you know, I had this nice presentation all planned out. I had it all in my head. I knew what I was going to say. Turned the camera on, looked at myself, and went blank. It must have taken me like 30 tries to just struggle through one video. My writing wasn't as powerful. I struggled putting down 2 paragraphs onto a page. I knew nothing about SEO. I knew nothing about optimizing. I knew nothing about how to syndicate it properly. And I was afraid of what other people would think of it when I put that stuff out there. But I pushed through, and I was determined, and I persevered through it. And then finally, you get to that point where you get enough training and you've done enough videos and you do enough speaking and you do enough writing where it becomes easy. It really does. You find that all of a sudden you have this mental shift and things become a whole lot easier. And that's the point when you realize you have nothing to be afraid of. Because everybody's out there looking for something. And there's someone out there who can actually relate exactly to you, what your story is, the struggles that you've gone through, the things that you speak. They understand. They really do understand. And you speak directly to them. I remember back when I was growing up, I remember this older gentleman. I was a pretty little kid, and he was pretty old, this thin, tall man with white hair. And he stood there with this kind of silent dignity. And you know, he wore a cotton patch over one eye and was taped across it because he had eye cancer. And oftentimes you'd see him with these big black sunglasses on. What I thought was interesting was he always had this kind of knowing smirk on his face, like he just knew something. And he wasn't the most fluent of speakers. He struggled through some of his words sometimes. But I tell you, when he got up in front of a room full of people, everybody listened. Everybody hung on to every word that he had to say. So those things that maybe he might have been afraid of, the things that he thought would hold him back, actually were his strengths. They were things that people could relate to. They could see someone with some kind of struggle that they're overcoming, and it inspired them. And they listened. And they thought, man, if he can do that, why can't I do that? And it inspired a whole lot of people. Now, he's long since passed away, but he was a very, very great man. And I looked up to him a lot, and he inspired me a lot to do a lot of what I do today. So as I go through my journey through Empower Network here, my goal is to become more and more powerful, to be able to speak from the heart, to be able to speak with emotion, to speak raw truth and power into people, speak inspiration, get people motivated to make the needed changes, that personal development, shift their mindsets into one from what I can't to I can. And you know what a powerful change for me was? A simple little word. It almost has magical powers. And it was that word yet. So I was struggling with my videos. I was like, I can't do this. Then I started to shift my thinking. I realized how many times a day I was saying I can't do something. And I started to put yet on the end of it. We've talked about this before. We actually had a live hangout about it. But it's so powerful because I find myself more and more using this technique. I can't make a powerful video yet. It opens up my mind to all sorts of possibilities. It creates in me this desire to want to do better, and it gives me the motivation, and I find inspiration, and I'm able to speak from the heart, and I'm able to speak truly, and I'm able to speak directly to you. And this is from the journey from when I was sitting at home late one night, home from work, depressed, tired, looking for something better, spending the last $26 on my credit card to join a system that cost me $25. And I tell you, I never looked back from there. Hasn't always been easy because I had to overcome a lot of difficulties. I had to overcome a lot of fears. I had to go through a lot of mindset shifts. And as you go back through my videos, you'll see a lot of difference in the things that I've done and the things that I speak about. And I become more powerful as I step into myself and I become the best me that I can be. And that's what you can do too. And all you have to do is make a simple decision. And that decision that you want to make, you can find it on the other side of that link in the description. So I want you to go ahead now. I want you to click that link. I'm comfortable standing here telling you, go ahead and click that, pull out your credit card, fill out that form, and just get started. Look at my journey. Look at the journey of everyone else in Empower Network. It's transformed lives. It's changed lives. It's even saved some people's lives in instances. These are all the stories, these are all the inspirations, these are all the trainings that you will get as long as you make that decision to get started right now. I enjoyed talking to you. I'll talk to you again soon.